All right, we got Anthony Caucci, who's laughing at me because I messed up his name last time. Was that right this time?
Yeah, good.
Okay, how are things going?
Good. How about you?
Have a good week?
Yeah, it was fucking eventful.
Why eventful?
What are you gonna do?
You just let it at that?
Yeah, leave it at that.
Let it at that. So we were both looking, and you had mentioned that Sammy the Bull Gravano.
I hate this fucking cocksucker.
You do, man. I've never met anybody that hates him more than
Well, it's not like a personal thing. It's more of a... He's just so full of shit, And what he's got away with and what he's got the world believing, it's fucking... I don't get it. I don't get how, he's got a good following, right? You can't take that away from him. But if they love the mob, these followers... You would think, well, fucking rule number one is don't rat. That's like the golden rule. Don't rat. Don't betray your friends. Don't kill for money. And there's certain codes of honor you go by. So you would think that these people that follow him would be looking up to those type of principles, but they don't. It's like they like him because he ratted. It's kind of fucking weird.
And I think a lot of it is, it's drama. You know what I mean? So anything drama always sells, right?
Yeah.
And anything mob always sells.
Yeah.
But what they don't know, which we found on the internet, that he allegedly killed a kid.
No, he did kill the kid. He admitted to it.
Well, he says they say he didn't admit to it. He just didn't say anything.
Well, in the debriefing, when he debriefed on the 19 murders, he admitted. You have to, because here's how you get pinched. When you debrief and say all, he's laid out. If you fucking tell us everything, we're going to give you the 5 years and maybe you do 3. Don't leave out anything. So trust me, he did not leave out shooting this kid, because that alone can just fuck up your entire plea. Happened to some guy that was supposed to be a friend of mine. He tried to take his wife down. So he tells them, this is like years later, he kills this kid on the street. This is in 1977. Apparently, Gravano does a hit. The kid's watching. Kid's what, teenager, 15, something like that? And kills this kid. Now, the family doesn't know who killed him, right? They have no idea. Now, when Sammy goes and debriefs and talks about all the 19 murders he's involved in, he tells them, I shot this kid too. They go and tell the family, we know who killed your kid. But there's not what we can do about it, because we're protecting him. What kind of fuck you? I mean, come on. The family's got to be outraged. The father, come on.
Yeah, so we have the article. Pull up the one where he killed the kid, because I didn't believe that. Killing a fucking kid? Jesus.
Kid.
You want to talk about it. That's a little too far.
Now, here's what's...
Here, he never admitted he murdered a child of Sammy the Bull. Victim lash out at interview. Scroll down.
No, he won't say it in public, but... On the debriefing.
Yeah. While a recent tell-all interview, former Gambino honor ball Sammy the Bull Gravano approaches 2 million views on YouTube, the families of 19 people he admitted to murdering are forced to grieve all over again. Authorities said one of those victims was a 16-year-old Alan Kaiser, an innocent bystander shot and killed seconds after witnessing Gravano and an associate carrying out a drive-by shooting in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn in 1977. 42 years later, when Staten Island residents Joey and Thomas Farisi, sister and brother-in-law to Kaiser, the kid that got shot, are asked by their grandchildren about a photo on their wall of a man they've never met. There's not a whole lot they can tell about him. How much can we tell the grandchildren about him? Said Thomas Farisi, who was dating Jo at the time her brother was killed. We knew him barely 16 years. He wasn't a gangster. He was just an innocent kid. Family said Kaiser, the boy, was a former Boy Scout and talented artist, was walking his girlfriend home. Moments before he was killed. Joey Ferrucci, if I'm screwing that up, sorry, buddy, keeps a scrapbook with his medals and some of his artwork. When asked about her initial reaction to the October 18th interview with Gravano, in which he attributes his rage growing up to dyslexia that went untreated, lamentates about hitmen being victims too, and offers his thoughts on current events. Joe Frucci said, "I was furious. I was crying. He never admitted he murdered a child." So, what's your take on that?
Well, he didn't admit on the interview that he killed
I'm
the
sorry.
child.
Kaiser's family didn't know who killed him or why until 20 years after the fact. After Gravano had cooperated with authorities, Gravano ultimately testified against then Gambino boss John Gotti, who would die in prison. Scroll down and see if there's anything else. Gravano, who remains the highest-ranking member of the La Cosa Nostra, remains to turn government, I guess so.
At that time.
Served 5 years in prison in connection with landmark case. He said recently that he was plotting to kill Gotti after the Dapper Don asked him to take the fall, but instead decided against it. The FBI rang my doorbell and said they knew who murdered her son. It was Sammy Gravano. The FBI rang the doorbell, said Joe Frucci, and they can't do anything about it because he's in the witness protection program. How that is, I can't grasp that. While ducking the mob, Gravano, though, whose testimony helped jail 36 ex-associates, was sent back to prison for operating an ecstasy ring, which we'll get to that, along with members of a white supremacy group. The last time Gravano was interviewed was 1977 to promote his book. Less than 10 years after the book was published, the families of the victims he helped kill were awarded more than $400,000 collectively for profits from the best-selling biography. The book doesn't mention the slaying of Kaiser, of course not. So you basically said all this before I even pulled it up. So what do you know about that?
No, just, look, it was in 1977 he kills a kid. Now, we know in 1977 you could have got away with anything. You don't testify against a mob in 1977. So let's say he does a hit, right? And accidentally there's a witness. It's a kid. You leave him alone because, all it takes is this. Let's say the kid is stupid, right? Let's just say hypothetically he's a young kid. He goes and he talks to the cops and says, I can identify the guys, whatever. Sammy gets pulled in for the hit. All it takes is someone to go to this kid's house, knock on the door, and tell the parents, hey, listen, your kid just forgot everything you just said, right? There's not a family in the world that's going to fucking testify against Sammy the Bull. It's in 1977. Just not going to do it. Not then. They'd shit their pants. They'd say, come here, kid, you forgot. The whole thing would have been squashed. Why he made that split decision to shoot that kid in the face, I think it was in the face, it's just it was a stupid amateur move. He just thought for himself and hit an innocent bystander. When it could, nowadays you can't kill anybody. But if you did, and there was a witness, and you shot him, yes, they'd find you in 2 seconds anyway. But back then, 1977, you wouldn't do that.
Now, just playing like devil's advocate, you know what I mean? How if he was in a split of the moment situation and the kid's 16,
right.
maybe he thought the kid was 21.
Right.
Maybe he didn't know the kid was 16. I mean, that's a possibility.
It's a possibility, but still, you don't kill someone just because they're there, right? Back then.
Yeah, well,
innocent bystander, you get warned. They get warned, and trust me, they got warned hard. It wasn't like today. They could find your house. They'd put the squeeze on you. They'd knock on your door nicely, and they said, look, something happened. You didn't see this. They get the message. No one's going to testify. It's just you're not going to do it. What, relocate your entire family? Plus, the Fed ain't going to relocate your entire family. They're not going to do that.
So in other words, you're saying he could have went back to the kid and said, hey, look, here's 20 grand.
Him,
don't
not
say
he
shit.
wouldn't have to. If he got arrested for it, let's say the kid picked him out on a lineup and said that was him. Anyone in Sammy's crew or family or the bosses would have said, listen, just go pay them a visit. This is 1977. Pay them a visit. Tell them they're with us. That hit was because of us. And you didn't see shit. They would have said, I didn't see anything. If it was a regular fucking robbery, murder type of thing, that's different. Maybe the kid wants to testify on something like that because there's no one behind him. It was a stupid stick-up guy. No, Sammy should have never done that.
Now, do you think he got called to a meeting about that, or do you think nobody told anybody that happened?
I think it flew under the fucking radar.
It just went under the radar.
Probably the guy who's with just said, hey, let's keep this between us. We just killed someone by accident,
Yeah.
Should have never happened.
Who was the boss in 77?
How the fuck knows? Who the fuck?
It might have been. Was it? I
Cousin, I don't know.
Whoever. I mean, and he was really against that type of shit.
Yep.
I was watching that documentary last night. What was that? Fear War.
Fucking I don't even want
With
Fear City.
Yeah, Fear City.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Fucking garbage.
Yeah. So I mean, just wrong place, wrong time, and the kid gets taken out. And then what the craziest part was, it says that they can't do anything about it because he's in it. Isn't there like certain things you can't do when you're in the witness protection?
No. What happened was the kid gets killed, and it goes It was 20 years later. The family doesn't know who killed the kid, right?
Yeah.
It's like a unsolved murder. So Sammy gets popped with John Gotti. Now, part of Sammy's plea, he's got to tell the feds everything he ever did. I mean, everything. If you leave something out and we find out, your plea's out the window. That 5-year deal we gave you, you're going to get fucking life. So you have to tell us everything. So he's got to sit there and remember all the things he was associated with, all the murders he was involved in, that kid. So when he sits down with the FBI and debriefs and tells them everything, here comes up this kid's name. Oh, in 1977, I shot this kid. So now the feds are like, there's an unsolved murder here. Now they go and knock on the parents' door and say, we know who killed your son. But because of our agreement with Sammy and the government, we can't do anything.
So that made him, what's it called when they can't prosecute you? Immunity.
Yeah, immunity.
So because he told them that in the proffer, right? Which if you're watching proffers when you come in and the whole fucking team's there and you got to tell them everything.
Mm-hmm.
So because he told them that in the proffer, that gave him immunity?
Yep. I think they call it king for a day or some shit like that. There's some term.
King for a day? Oh.
Yeah, you're king for a day. You get
well, I guess if you could get
the
away with straight murder,
yeah.
I guess it is king for a day.
Right. So, he was taking down Gotti, and they were going to string a bunch of murders on him. They were both going to do life. But they got to Sammy, and Sammy says, all right, fuck. He says Gotti was going to pin it all on him, or he wanted him to, whatever the fucking cocksucking bullshit story was. Sammy decides, I'm not going to prison, so 5 years, and I'm going to lay down everything, every single thing. Now, when you debrief, you just can't, he can just say, I'm going to tell on John Gotti, and that's it. The feds want to know every single thing you did, especially when he's going from life to 5 years. They want to know everything, because on those 19 murders, each one of those is going to lead to something else and something else and something else. And then they got 36 people he's testified against. And they're hoping that of those 36, maybe half of those guys cooperate. And then down goes the shit.
Well, I think they got 36 just from him, right?
Just from him.
And that was
right.
And then they get those guys.
And hopefully out of half of those 36, they cooperate. And then it's a shit fucking ball, right? It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it never ends. So that's how the feds look. They get one guy, and they're going to let him go and suck cock and get away. But we're going to get 36 other people. And how many out of those 36, how many more murders are we going to find?
Right. So you got 20 murders from Sammy, but the people that are going to bring, we're going to get people that killed 100 people or 200 people.
Collectively, you got fucking who knows.
So, I mean, technically, if you think about it, everybody says Rudy Giuliani took down the mafia. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, as far as Gambino, Sammy the Bull took down the Gambino.
Oh, absolutely.
Not
Sammy.
Rudy. Rudy just figured out, Rudy and that other guy figured out how to use the RICO.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, he by himself took down the Gambino.
Yeah, at the time, he was the highest ranking member of the mob, right, to flip. Then you had the Bonanno boss flip.
Well, as of today, he's still the highest. We just read that.
No, I think that was an old article. Didn't the Bonanno boss flip too? Joe Messino? Was it Messino?
I don't know.
The boss flipped. No, you don't hear much about him. You want to know why? Because he's not on fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
Where the fuck's his YouTube channel? The fucking boss of the Bonanno fucking flips.
Yeah.
So that was big.
I never thought about it. When I saw him on the YouTube and the MTV, right? That's what it is, MTV. It is with his daughters.
Fucking MTV. What a bunch of douchebags.
I never thought about the fact that the families do have to relive all that over again. And
it's
then
sad.
Look at they got commercials for it. And then look at the person that killed their son or brother or whoever the fuck, cousin. You know what I mean?
So you gotta wonder, people or the people behind the producers of MTV that would want to profit off of the killing. Now, listen, Gravano killed some people legitimately. When I mean legitimately, you're in the mob, people break rules, you fucking die. All right. You know, if that was it and you left it at that, you'd say, okay. He killed people that were business partners with him that did nothing. There was no sanction to hit this guy. He didn't get to okay. He just said, you know what, if I clip this guy, fuck, I'm going to get all his money. So he killed people that deserved it, and he killed what we would say innocent people. Even though they were in the mob, they're still innocent, right? Then you kill someone who's not even in the mob, who's completely innocent bystander. And they make this fucking cocksucker to look like, you know, fucking sun shining out of his ass. And then there goes fucking MTV. They want to profit off of this fucking cocksucker who's sitting in a chair.
Well, the MTV is more of his daughters. He just pops in every once in a while.
Still,
but still, I mean, they're giving him time on the. They're giving him a good 10 minutes on each.
It's all the
thing.
same, you know.
And then he's got the YouTube that.
Right.
Just, I mean, that's
yeah. Why would MTV? I can understand YouTube because he has done it himself. Whatever. We can argue all we want. We don't like him. We don't do this. But look, if fucking people on YouTube want to watch, fuck it. God bless them, right? That's what they want to do. They want to watch. There's nothing we can do about it. But when MTV steps in, you know, a major production company says, well, let's make some money off this guy killing people, innocent people, a kid. And they want to sugarcoat this shit, and MTV is going to line their pocket with money.
Well, what they're doing is they're making it like it's the show about the daughters. Like when they advertise, they really don't.
They can do that all they want, right?
But that's their loop. Like, okay, we're just going to bring them in every once in a while. So if anybody there has a conscience, that's how they justify it. But you know as well as I know, it doesn't matter.
No.
They just care about the money.
They don't give a fuck. It's all about the money.
Now, you were saying about he gave, what was it with weed, 300,000 in weed? Or what were you saying about that?
There was, someone sent me something. You know, when he puts up a video, sometimes he'll go off the side or just, I don't know if he makes shit up or the producers tell him to do this. The story could be false. Who the fuck knows? But it was about when he was, I guess, younger at a time and he didn't have any money. You know, he's broke. He was broke. He couldn't pay the rent. And someone said, hey, we got some weed here. Hold it for us. Something to that fact. And he said that he thought about killing the guy because he'd be rich, $300,000. Can't pay rent. He got $300,000. He said it crossed his mind to shoot this guy. But being the gentleman that he is, and however he spun it, he said, "No, I just couldn't do it because it's not the right thing to do. I wouldn't kill someone over this. It's just not the right thing." Now, when you look at what he actually did, he's killed a lot of people for money, and that right there would have been just killing someone for money.
It would have just been another one.
Right? Yeah. So he turns around in that particular video, and then the guy comes back to him and goes, "You know, Sammy, I really appreciate it that you did this for me," and he gave him $5,000 or something. Sam goes, "You know, I would have killed you, but you're a good guy and you got kids." And he was talking about how his kids would sit on his lap and he got to love the guy and the kids. And he's trying to portray himself as this person that he's really not. He's just not. Sitting on, kid sitting on his lap. He loved the guy. He didn't love people. He just fucking loved money. He loved money, greed, kill people, and that was it. He liked power. Now what he's trying to do is try to be, look, I'm a normal person. He even talks about, gay people, right? And the way that he says it, that's not the way they would have talked back then, trust me.
What's he say about gay people?
Well, he just talks to them, like, look, gay people are gay people. That it is what it is, right? But the way that he talks about them, the way that he presents his conversation now, as if he would have never used other words and he would have never thought any differently, but that he's always thought, well, just because you're gay doesn't make you any different. He did this fucking presentation like, Sammy the Bull in 1980 would have just sat next to a gay guy like, you know what, you're just gay, it's okay. Bull fucking shit. Ain't no gay guy sitting at a sit down in 1980. Ain't fucking happening. A gay guy gets straightened out in 1980 and they find out you're getting fucking lead in the ass. That's what you're getting in the ass. Yeah. It ain't the other thing. So, but he doesn't want to portray that at all. He wants to portray that, listen, you're black, you're gay, whatever it is. Sammy was always, everyone's the same. We're all human beings. That's not fucking true. We are all human beings, and we are all the same in a way. What I'm saying is not true is back when he was a gangster, that didn't fly. People didn't talk like that. People didn't act like that. Blacks called us names. We called them names.
Maybe he changed.
Yeah, maybe. The 5 years in prison might have fucking changed him. 3.
Well, no, he went back for the ecstasy.
He did. Now, you know what's odd on that one?
Yeah, pull that up, the ecstasy one. It's the tab right next to the one you were just last at.
Fucking Sammy. We're fucking always talking about Sammy. Fucking people hate Sammy, but they love him at the same time. You gotta love him because he gives you plenty of content to talk about.
Yeah, you always got something to talk about with him. We'll get off him for a couple.
It's good because we could put the squeeze. We're putting the squeeze on him. Actually, we get to use his name. Maybe we'll actually come meet you in New York. Yeah, fuck. Right. I gotta withdraw that because his old ass ain't coming.
All right, so this is the ecstasy case. This was 2001. Mafia turncoat Salvatore Sammy the Bull Gravano pleaded guilty Friday to charges of ecstasy. He masterminded an ecstasy ring that sold the drug from Arizona to New York. He pleaded guilty to 10 counts of conspiracy to sell dangerous drugs, participating in criminal syndicate, illegal enterprise, offering to sell and transport dangerous drugs, money laundering, use of wire in drug-related transactions, plus misconduct involving weapons and drug possession. Gravano's sentencing is on the 28th. Each of the sentences he served at the time, meaning Gravano faces up to 23 years. Gravano's wife, Deborah, and their children, Gerard, and Karen, also pleaded guilty, so he involved his kids.
And his wife.
Before the judge. Go back down. Gravano pleaded to 2 counts of legally conducting an enterprise and offering to sell and transport drugs. That was a nice knockoff. He faces about 9 years in prison when he's sentenced. His 40-year-old wife, Deborah, pled guilty. She looks at 1 year. The kid looks like pled guilty, use of wire and drug-related. She faces 3 years of probation.
Right?
She's...
That's a fucking joke, right?
So he gets 9 months for all that.
No, he got 20 years.
Who, Gravano?
Gravano got 20 years.
He didn't do 20 years, though.
No, he did fucking 18 and a half or something like that.
He did? Oh, I didn't know
he did 18. The judge, well, here's what happened. Maybe the state wasn't very happy with what happened in the feds. I mean, it just came back to bite him in the ass, right? So it comes time I can imagine that the judge is looking at this guy. Wait a minute, you got a fucking 5-year sweet deal, right? You're 5, so you did 3. You're on witness protection. Part of the deal was you get to keep your money, which he had millions of dollars. Then they gave him a job. I mean, he was a contractor. He had who the fuck? And they give him plastic surgery, change his fucking face, all on the government, right? So here he is. He's in Arizona, fucking millionaire. But what happens? Here comes that. I need to be Mr. fucking tough guy. I can't be quiet. I can't lay low. I gotta present the world needs to know who the fuck I am attitude. That's him. So he gets into the fucking ecstasy. And boom, he gets a fucking 20 piece. What I can't figure out, unless someone could send us a message. You're gonna get a lot of messages, right? Where the fuck did he do his time in Arizona? Because no one can find out.
Maybe they put him where they put Leonetti.
Well, there's a good chance that when he did his time in Arizona, because he talks about he went state prison, Arizona.
Yeah.
There's so many people wanted to kill him, from John Gotti, right? He was probably in witness, not protective custody. They've got certain prisons. The people know that there are prisons designated for high-profile rats.
Yeah. So. Leonetti was in one of those, and I believe it was in Arizona, and it's a free-for-all. You can do whatever. It's not like protective. If anybody watched, have ever been in jail, it's not like protective custody like you may be used to, where you're locked in a cell. You know, it's 1 in 24, and I'm saying 24 hours. You're in the cell, you get out 4 because you're PC,
right?
Protective custody. Where they go, Leonetti, probably Sammy, whoever else. It's a specific federal prison
Just for rats.
just for rats.
Yep.
So everybody in there ratted.
Right.
They're all in the witness protection
Right.
program.
It's no secret. Like, it's
Yeah.
not, they can't be pointing the fingers. You're a rat. You're a rat. No,
Yes.
they're all fucking rats. They all walk around. No one's killing each other because you're all on the same playing field.
And they let them do whatever the fuck
Right.
they want. Food, phone, you name
Yep.
it. All that shit. So that's where they put him. I didn't know he got 19 fucking years for that. But
Yeah.
like you said, it came around and bit him in the ass.
Yeah, it was 20, and he probably did, I don't know,
Good
18?
time. You get 2 months off a year. So he got 20 months off on the first 10. And then just say it's 20. He got 40 months off. So he probably did 16.
Yeah.
And maybe 15, got a year house arrest or something, got out early, halfway house.
Well, it was state, so I don't know what the state good time was in Arizona.
I'm sure, I think they give you a lot.
85% at least, right?
Well, if it's state, no, it could be anything. It could be,
Every
10
state's different.
to 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you see the parole board at 10. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure he only did 10.
Let's pull that,
Yeah,
pull that
pull it
up.
up.
Well, Sammy Gravano gets released from prison.
Or how many, just go to a new tab. Or how many years did he get, right? So put in Sammy the Bull.
They got to change that name.
On the laptop, on the air. Put Sammy the Bull.
Takes it up to Keister.
Sammy the Bull. Sentencing. Sentencing for ecstasy. What do you think?
I think he got a 20 years.
Yeah, he got 20 years.
20 years in prison. Okay.
Yeah.
By a federal, hold on.
No, yeah.
By a federal judge.
Yeah, that went federal. By a federal Brooklyn judge for buying and selling ecstasy after starting a new life in Arizona. No, so that's Fed time. So yeah, he did a fucking pile.
So then, here's an Arizona case. So maybe it's possible because he was on witness protection.
Right there. Go down to the second one and click on that. Second one, down. Right there.
Maybe the feds picked it up.
Scroll down. Former hitman. Oh, fucking advertisements.
Yeah, they're squeezing. It's good.
Yeah. Reese 72, September 18th. Keep going down.
Okay, so there we go. Right there. Look. 72 had been serving concurrent terms issued for drug-related convictions on federal charges in New York and state charges in Arizona.
Oh, so they hit him. They double whammied him. But federal takes
they
priority.
do.
So they probably ran a concurrent.
So that's why maybe his ass was in the feds and running it with state charge. Who knows? But there's
Let's see. I just want to see if it says how much he did.
And it says he was released from federal prison. And
Yeah.
I could never figure that out.
Plea deal. Yeah, 19. Well, anyway. So
it's possible.
I mean, the one thing that it's federal, so that would take priority over state. So he probably
could have got 20 on both state and feds
and ran it together.
Ran it concurrent, coterminous in the feds. He did
with-
time in the feds. That's why no one can figure out where the fuck he went to time.
He went to the same
Arizona.
place that I bet you any money that what's his name went to, Leonetti and a couple other guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you were talking about Michael Peter.
Michael Peters was a beast, boy. That was the strip club king down here in I think South Florida is where he started. So I know now we go to strip clubs, Solid Gold and Pure Platinum and places like that. Scores in New York. Is that what it's called? Scores?
Scores.
Yeah, these are fucking. Yeah. I mean, the girls in there are beautiful. But before, when I was young, these bitches the girls in there were usually put in by the biker gangs. And, these girls were, looked like a goddamn circus act. I'm talking fat, toothless, on crutches, with a fucking,
missing a fucking arm.
with a fucking cast, swinging on a swing, right? On stage one. And they're and this is a titty bar. And tattoos all over them and just fucking horrible. And Peters looked at this and said, "Oh, wait a minute. Why don't we just put in some upscale dime pieces?" And he changed what strip clubs were. I mean, it was him. He did it. So he had I believe he started with, I don't know if it was the Dollhouse or Solid Gold, but the Solid Gold was a big one. And he branched out to, I don't know, hundreds if not thousands of clubs. He turned into a gentleman's club, high-end, nice-looking girls. And he had the lap dancing, and that's where things started going a little iffy, was with the friction dance. And so he got the heat on him eventually. And, of course, when you've got that much, I mean, you're talking millions and millions of dollars are coming in South Florida. Of course, you've got mob connections. They ain't going to let something like that go. You're not Italian, and you're opening up a strip club, making that much money. Someone's coming in to get a piece. And I believe he had ties with, you'd have to look this one up, he had ties with someone out of the Chicago outfit. I got the son of a guy that got popped here in Fort Lauderdale. I can't remember his name, but this was like his go-to person.
Yeah, let me look here. Go to Chrome, because I have the thing up. Go to Chrome. Yeah, because it was him, and it wasn't just him. It was the whole thing. This is his thing. You want to read it, Anthony? You could be the reader, so you get ready for your book reading.
I'm a horrible reader.
Do you want me to read?
Yeah, you read. How about that?
Okay. Fort Lauderdale has long been known as top of the destination cities in the U.S. for partying and entertainment. Now, gentlemen's clubs and nightlife impresario Michael J. Peter, better known as MJP, will be bringing his latest vision for adult entertainment with the opening of the new Solid Gold in sunny Pompano Beach, Florida. This $1 million multiplex will serve the entire Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale metro area. Michael J. Peter is the groundbreaking innovator in adult entertainment, is widely regarded as the creator of the modern-day gentleman's club. He was the first operator to take the gentleman's club from taboo mainstream to the lap dance to the masses. With more than 500 clubs launched globally and $5 billion in career sales.
Right there you go.
The face of the industry forever.
The man behind such globally recognized brands such as Solid Gold, Pure Platinum, Dollhouse. His upscale gentleman's club have been providing an ultra-luxurious experience to high-end clientele for decades, making Solid Gold brand the most widely recognized on the planet. Additionally, his firm stance on women's empowerment and sexual equality, his battles against racism, homophobia, censorship in general have taken him before the United States Supreme Court. Those hard-fought battles and the fortitude to challenge, how the fuck do you say that? Societal norms and government bureaucracy, whatever. Go down. Now legacy continues, Solid Gold twist. Now go over to the next one, the next tab on his indictment. Okay, so now if we scroll down here, this is his actual indictment, which he got in trouble for, and Anthony can elaborate on this.
Now, originally they were trying to get him on money laundering. I had my friend Tony, what the fuck was it? He killed himself. He was owner of Miami Gold.
Well, look, so he pled in 1996 to racketeering conspiracy.
I meant tax evasion.
And mail fraud. That's what he did.
Right.
And after rounds of litigation, Rico, it's all right there. November 7th, Cleveland, Peter challenged for petition.
Yeah, so
you elaborate on
they really tried to get him on, it was tax evasion. I think that was the original thing. And it went round and round and round. And then it was a kidnapping. He apparently set someone up to get kidnapped. Someone was trying to poach girls out of his club, right?
Yeah.
So they'd send in someone to talk to these girls and say, hey, you're working here, and why don't you come work for us? So he didn't like that. So set this dude up, and I believe he actually had a girl call the guy and say, come meet me at Bennigan's. Was it Bennigan's back then? And the guy comes, they pick him up, they put him in a car, and they ship him off to his club and basically give him the shakedown. Don't do this, don't do that, or this is going to happen to you. So you basically got a kidnapping right there. I don't know what happened if the guy just decided not to press charges, but there was a lot of shit going on. He had some tax evasion, but at the end of all this shit that they were trying to get this motherfucker, he ends up getting, did he plead or get convicted of the tax, the mail fraud?
The mail fraud.
The mail fraud.
Yeah.
So somewhere on an application he filled out, right?
Yeah.
He lied. Well, I don't know if it was even an intentional lie. Maybe he just didn't know. It probably didn't know, right? And he put the name on there that shouldn't have been. And he sticks that piece of paper in the mail. Now, when you put that in the mail, it becomes a federal charge.
Yeah.
So he sends it off, and now he's got mail fraud.
Yeah.
Go fuck. I mean, stick it up your ass. They just wanted him in prison.
They just wanted to get him on something.
They wanted
he could
to
have
get him-
jaywalked,
Yeah,
right?
they would have found him guilty because our laws, look, half of us do shit. I mean, if you looked at every single one of us, we broke the fucking law, probably federally, state. We don't even know it. But what do they say? Ignorance is no excuse for the law. We'd all go to jail. But when they get you, except for Donald fucking Trump, when they get you and they climb up your ass, you're going to jail. I can't believe they didn't put Trump in prison. With all those people on him, the Mueller investigation, he should have
They
been.
couldn't get anything.
I mean, it's almost impossible not to.
I know. And
I mean,
Mueller.
that was.
I got some friends that when Mueller was a prosecutor in New York, dirty motherfucker.
It's just almost like, was this just one big show? Because it's almost impossible not to. Just a signature and you sent it in the mail.
But you know they would have got him. If they could have got something, they would have got him. Trump either had everything clean as a motherfucker,
Which is almost impossible.
or he was smart.
It was.
Which obviously he's pretty
Or-
fucking smart.
This whole thing's a show for us because how many people we saw in the last 5 years who went to prison?
Yeah.
Nobody. The last 8 years. Who went to prison besides fucking Flynn?
Flynn and the other guy, Mulliford,
Yeah.
right? Mulliford and Stone. He was in there.
These all the Trump people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's either a show just to, like, they knew that he didn't do anything, but they just wanted to put that out there to get people, preparing for this election, right? So they knew he didn't mess with Russia. They knew he didn't do A, B, C, D,
Yeah.
E.
That was all fucking.
But they just they made it portrayed that he did, right?
Yeah.
To fuck up the election coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Or he really didn't. And they, you know what I mean? Because there's no way a guy like Mueller is going to let him go if he finds one speck of dirt.
No.
And he'll make up a speck of dirt. A friend of mine got crushed by him, and the guy made up shit. And I know, I saw the transcript.
They just went to the Supreme Court on that. If Trump lied during that investigation, Supreme Court shot it down.
Yeah.
So he's done with that part. Now you got to worry about New York, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, they
They
just
should
won't
leave him the
alone.
fuck alone already. Come on, he's out of office.
He said this morning he's going to run again in so many words.
Did he?
Yep, he did. DeSantis, maybe vice president.
There's no way he'll win. He'll win if it was fair. There's no way because with that mail-in voting, you can't win. It's impossible.
Well, I think he might have a shot, and this is why I think that, right? Because the last one was so fucked up, right? So people are pissed, and this guy, whether you like him or not, I feel bad for the guy actually.
Who, Trump?
No, for Sleepy Joe,
Mm.
because Kamala's the one calling the shots behind
Right.
closed doors. But after 4 years of him, and your taxes go up, and the boom, all this real estate that's through the roof. What do you think is going to stay like that?
Kaboom.
The cars, the gold, the Bitcoin. When everything goes to shit, of course they're going to try to cheat. But you don't think, as smart as Trump is, that right now he's already prepping to beat their ass?
Yeah, I would imagine he is. I just don't know how he's going to get around if they do the same thing they did last year with
Well,
these
there won't be
fucking mail-in ballots.
Well,
How do you get around that?
he's got to find a way to not allow that, or at least he'll have to go state by state and work them over the next 3.5 years to say, look, that's what he'll have to do. He'll have to go state by state. Like California is not going to change their mind.
No.
But he might be able to get like Texas, right? They would probably side and not do it. That's the only way he's going to win is if he gets enough states that he lost to not allow that.
But it was those 5 states, those 5 fucking Democratic states. They would have to flip.
Yeah.
And I don't. It's because those 5 states alone, he's done.
Yeah.
If they do the same shit with the mail-in ballots.
But it might get so. I personally seeing it get that bad in 3 years from now because Kamala's going to end up being president.
Yeah.
This guy can't even read a piece of paper.
Yeah. That's fair. That's.
And it's not, and I feel bad for the fucking dude. And Russia's just fucking eating him alive. But, whatever.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
They're all making fucking money. I think it's one last plot, whatever the fuck the word is, to make money, and that's it. They fucking call it a day. He's gonna clean up.
Yeah.
He's gonna clean up as president and fuck kick back and say fuck it.
Yeah. Well, just like Bernie. He's the smartest gangster on the planet. He runs, gets momentum, gives him a challenge, Clintons probably go up to him behind closed doors because they want Democrats in.
Yep.
And Obama, I'm sure, because somehow Obama's got a $16 million fucking mansion or however many million.
Yeah, $50 million book deal.
Yeah, $50 million for a book.
Obama when he left office.
Jesus Christ.
And I think they shot Trump's book down. They thought,
who would read more?
Yeah.
I mean, Trump's nuts. You know,
Yeah.
it's entertainment. It's like watching a comedy show, right? Like I miss him coming on. Don't you?
know, he was the only president in fucking history that was covered every single day.
But what was cool though is whether you like him or not.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're for him or not. At least you knew what the fuck was going on, right?
Yeah.
He'd come on every day, make you
He'd
laugh.
speak his mind no matter what. Even if it was fucked up, he'd say it.
You'd either laugh or you'd hate him. And he didn't say, I mean, again, I always say this, but I got to get your reaction. This guy's got the balls to call a guy with nuclear weapons ready to go off, Rocket Man, multiple times, daily,
Was that
right?
fucking
And
North Korea?
North
Rocket
Korea.
Man?
And he says to him, you got nuclear weapons, but I got bigger ones.
I got bigger, right?
And then the motherfucker goes over and visits him.
Yeah.
Has the ball. And you know that whole security team was like, this isn't a good idea, buddy.
No,
he didn't give a fuck.
He didn't give a fuck. No, to me,
He had balls, boy.
I loved him. I did.
Yeah.
I called it when he ran. My wife was down with her family, Australians, all at the house. And he goes down the escalator. I said, "This motherfucker's gonna run." They go, "There's no way in hell," because they're Australians. Really, they're left. They're on the left. They think that our government's all fucked up, and that there's no way that this fucking monster will win. And I said, I bet you everything this guy wins, because he's telling it how it is. You know, he's sitting there telling, when he's debating people, he goes, you know, I know what it's like to be, you know, on the take. I used to pay all you motherfuckers. I used to pay you, and you used to take my money. Yeah. Now you don't like me because I'm running for president. But you guys were on the take, you were on the take, you were on, and he pointed them all out. And it was like, oh shit.
And he did it at the national. You know who he ripped a new fucking asshole? I don't know if he has balls anymore.
Who?
Jed Bush.
Did he? Jed Bush was, yeah. Jed Bush didn't have it. He was crying. He was like in diapers. I mean, he just didn't have it.
He didn't have it. He just ate them.
Yeah.
And Cruz, he just knocked the socks off of everyone.
Cruz and eventually Cruz turned. Yeah. I think he was pretty good, right? He turned, but
at the
Ted
time,
Cruz, right? No, he was young. No, that was Cruz. Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's Texas. Ted Cruz.
Texas.
Right? Yeah. Cruz is turned on.
He's turned.
He's on Trump's side.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he is. But
he ripped them all a new asshole.
Ripped them all a new. I would just sit there and laugh my.
And you know the media that they didn't like him. We know that. But now that he's gone, they gotta miss him.
They have.
I mean, what is this shit that we're watching?
He'd be like, now there's 50,000 people between the stadium and outside watching, right? And everybody on, even if you hate him, you just want to watch it to hate him.
Right.
And he's going, CNN. Isn't it funny? You don't show the crowd.
Right. You don't show. Pan around. Show everybody here. And then
the next fucking day, he'd get on like the morning show and be like, yeah, we had the best ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Best ratings on my speech. We beat the NFL. We beat the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was surprised that Trump didn't, this is going to sound silly, open his own fucking YouTube channel. Because you're trying to get that, or open your own platform by fucking, you can't kick him off that, right? Open your own whatever. He didn't need much. And because he's worried about saying one thing and then them twisting it, right? It happens all the time. Well, then fuck it. Eliminate them. Have your own platform. Every day, post your news.
The dirtiest thing, and then we'll get out of here. The dirtiest thing is that Twitter keeps him on there for 4 years, makes all that ad money.
Yeah.
Imagine the money they made off him. Then he goes out, and all of a sudden
he's banned.
He's banned
permanently, right?
Permanently banned, indefinitely. But for 4 years, when he was going no problem.
Yeah.
All that ad money.
Yeah,
that Dorsey's.
There's something about the censorship that I just don't think it's fucking. It's not good.
They're all controlled.
It's not good at all.
All right, so on the next one, we'll get into Miami subs. That was a huge one.
Oh,
big slang down there in Miami. You know a lot about that, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do on the next one. We'll do that. There's a lot to talk about with that. So thank you for your time, and this will be on both channels at some point. And see you on the next one.
Yeah, on your channel mostly, though, huh?
Well, you got to bring your computer to get the file.
They're fucking lazy.
All right, Anthony.
All right, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Good. You got it.